Ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking of buying a property in JB, I think you better think twice right now because the prices has gone up tremendously. So who's the culprit? Of course, Singaporeans, right? Let's watch on, shall we? So Johor property right now in transaction volume has gone up phenomenally. If you were to look at residential property transaction trend over the last few years, you see one straight line going up, which is Johor. And all the other states actually went down. You have got Negri Sembilan, Malacca, and all these places all going down. But Johor is the one that's registering one straight line going up. And in 2024, which the data is not up yet, is likely to go up even more. The number of vacancies, which was phenomenally high in Johor, has also came down a lot, right? A lot. During the pandemic and the peak of it, we have a huge amount of vacancies of unsold units in Johor Bahru and in Malaysia. Right now, the number of vacancy has dropped by half. And I think you'll drop by a lot more in the last 5 to 6 months of this year. And the prices have gone up phenomenally, man. Prices of terraces in Johor Bahru is now 3 times that of 2010 price. In particular, in JB, the prices has gone up by 4 times of 2010 price. So for those people who think that Malaysian property will never go up, this is a trend that's happening right now. Of course, you can say that, oh, for investment, Malaysian ringgit is falling and things like that. Yes, I don't deny that. But I think it will at least preserve its value. I don't think the ringgit has gone down by 4 times to cancel off all the gains that you've seen in JB. But it doesn't matter because I always encourage people, if you want to buy a JB house, don't buy it for investment. You buy it for investment, there's a lot of pain that comes with it. But buy it for pleasure, for holiday, for retirement, I think that's a great buy, okay? So what's the current asking price now for Johor Bahru property, right? Per square feet, these are the prices, okay? From a Singapore perspective, I think it's still very affordable. But by Malaysian standard right now, it's actually very high. Easily one terrace right now, 1 million to 1.2, 1.3 million. And if you were to look at a semi-D, easily anything between 1 million to 1.5 million, maybe even 2 million. And the detached house bungalow itself is even much more. And those, of course, are in more desired places. If you go very far out in Skudai and Kulai and all these places, of course, it's much cheaper. But just in JB hot area, I think it's gone up really a lot, okay? According to news report, right now, in certain well-developed suburbs in JB, according to property consultants, have been asking prices for properties has risen by 10 to 20% compared to last year. So the same property inflation that we see in Singapore has now spilled over to JB. In fact, the situation is so bad that even the Malaysian government is now considering cooling measure. So our ABSD type of cooling measure is, of course, doing a great job in cooling down the private property inflation. We're seeing now Malaysian government now considering similar measures. So the Menteri Besar has highlighted initiatives stem from concern expressed by diverse stakeholders, including the state residents and external investors regarding speculation surrounding escalating property prices in JB. This one necessitates government scrutiny and control. So bottom line is we right now in JB, potentially some cooling measures will take place. So how much of this demand is caused by Singaporeans or from Singapore? Okay, well, it's a big chunk, right? So from notably nearly 44% of property seekers looking for a residential property in JB in April 2024 were from Singapore, right? And another person that says that 40% of Princess Cove buyers were Singaporeans, okay? This spike is picked up, especially after Singapore increases ABSD, making it more expensive to own 2 or more properties. Of course, there are other buyers from Malaysia, China, and Taiwan as well. But the key thing is this. I think there is a urge of many Singaporeans to like to own property as an investment instrument. And somehow, if you cannot own one in Singapore, it's okay to own one in JB. That's the thought process. I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's the thought process. The other one that is drawing a lot increase in demand is the increasingly well-built RTS link between Singapore and Malaysia. Okay, if the RTS is built, then it's just going from Singapore to Malaysia. JB right now is going to be a breeze. So therefore, it's a lot more easier to travel between Singapore and Malaysia. So therefore, demand from Singapore go up. I know anecdotally and experientially that there is a a lot of people in the 1965 community that has bought Malaysian houses. I know. Why? Because I did that video, and if you ever watch it, please watch it. I did a video about the progress of my JB house renovation. In that video, I've also, tried to introduce some business for my renovator. So I said, any one of you interested in knowing this renovator, by the way, his name is Macron, a good guy, please write into me. Do you know how many people wrote to me? These are just some examples of people wrote to me. I can fill up 10 of these slides, okay, with people who actually write to me, right? A lot of people, and just say that, oh, Mr. Loo, I'll be collecting keys for a property. Recently, we bought a condo. Oh, I'm a Singaporean. I recently bought a house in Eco Botanic, blah, 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 blah. A lot of people. I mask out all their names and things like that to protect their privacy. A hell of people has actually bought Malaysian houses recently, okay? And right now, my renovator is telling me, Mr. Loo, can you stop introducing people to me? I cannot handle it anymore. But that's how many people have contacted him. So what are the pull factors for living in JB? Obviously, there's lots of space, right? For me, lots of space for my children, grandchildren to run around. I'm pretty happy with the state of my renovation, and there's a very low cost of living over there, which everybody appreciates, right? So the cost of living in Malaysia is very low. There's lots of space. Everybody loves JB minus the traffic jam and some security issue. Today, I'm not going to dispute whether Malaysia got crime or no crime, got traffic jam, no traffic. That's beside the point. The point is that there is a huge pool for people. People are not blind, right? When they buy a Malaysian house, so they know that is good for them for whatever reason. And there is a relaxation of the MM2H requirement, which is their visa that makes it easier for Singaporeans and foreigners to now stay in Malaysia. So the threshold, the financial threshold for the visa is now lowered. The age requirement is also now lowered. Some part of the schemes are not fully reviewed yet, but the people applying for this visa, which is an MM2H agent, the number of Singaporeans looking for visa through its agency has jumped dramatically, right? Dramatically. A lot of Singaporeans would like to have a second home in Malaysia. And I can understand that because I'm one of them. In case you want to know about MM2H, it has several tiers, okay, several tiers, but the one that right now is very attractive is the new silver, gold, and platinum. You can even pay up to 5 million ringgit, okay, put in a fixed deposit, and you can even get a PR. But most of us are not going to do that. There is a 5-year one and there's a 15-year one, okay? And the rest of the requirement, you can read it up yourself. But it's actually a lot easier right now for people who wants the second home in Malaysia. Take note, these are not money you pay. This money you just transfer, right? So transfer, not so bad, not so bad. And your whole household can have a MM2H visa as well. One very key important factor that led to the increase in demand is the Singapore-Malaysia RTS link. Things are taking shape already, right? So if you haven't been noticing, there is now a bridge built across Singapore and JB, the Straits of Johor. There is a linkages getting more and more built up. It's now 65% built up on both sides. And the connecting span is already being completed. So 2/3 of the link has already been established, and they are earmarked to start service by December 2026, and that's not too far away. So that's quite a remarkable achievement. And in future, if you do a long-term planning in future, between Singapore and Malaysia will be a breeze. Singaporeans are not dumb. They know that by the time it's built, okay, then they go and buy the Malaysian house, is too late, right? So all rush in now. I'm glad that I took a step faster than most people. But unfortunately, for many people, they're right now facing an increasing price appreciation right now. Now, there's a big group of people that are constituting this huge demand. These are Malaysians that work in Singapore, right? In the past, they rent houses or rooms in Singapore. Right now, it is so expensive. They are now traveling between Singapore and JB almost every day. And right now, they're all thinking about, instead of just renting in Malaysia, they might as well buy one house in Malaysia, which is so much cheaper in JB, and facilitate the traveling between the two. So the cost of living in Singapore is now forcing many Malaysians who is previously staying in Singapore now do daily commute, okay? Right now, you facilitate them a lot if they own a property in JB. So they're buying up also, right? So the property inflation in Singapore now constitute a property inflation in JB. I'm not encouraging you to buy a JB house, especially for investment purpose. Okay, there is a risk of the ringgit depreciating strongly. Although recently the ringgit has appreciated, I always think that when you buy a Malaysian house, take it as expense and not investment. We still have a lot of overhang property in JB, especially in Country Garden built Forest City, and rules can change and currency change. So I don't like to treat it as an investment. Don't forget, there's also property gains tax and things like that. So it makes it very complicated. But I think it's a wonderful place for retirement and for holiday house, okay, for those people who can afford it. Recently, I've seen more and more people buying it. The community of 1865, a lot of people have bought it as well. I don't think it's just encouraged by myself. So I think that everyone should just, take this news in its own stride. If you're interested to join me there, great. You're not, it's okay. So in conclusion, right now, JB property is getting red hot. Red hot is the word. In Austin Heights right now where I stay, there's almost no house or very few houses for sale. It is something that you should take in your own stride. Okay. Rental is also a great option as well. You don't need to buy, and rentals in Malaysia are very cheap as well, although it's going up a bit. But for those people who like to have fun like me, do consider that. If this video brings you some interesting insight, please give a like and join us in our Telegram channel, and follow us as well in this YouTube channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in a day or two. Bye-bye.